Jen Beaupre here, and I'm coming to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, as you know, if you've watched my videos before, which is mixing and belting. In one of my previous videos, I used pop punk music as a vehicle to help you connect with your mixing and belting placement. I must admit, this is one of my very favorite topics to riff on for two reasons. One, because I absolutely love using the biggest place in my voice. The songwriters who I work with know that when we're writing songs for me, I want to make sure that we're baking in some places in the song where I can really let go and lean into this part of my voice. The second reason I really like talking about this topic is because it is incredibly rewarding and incredibly fulfilling to help my students, other singers, you find this for yourself. Mixing and belting is usually pretty high on singers' lists when they come to me and tell me what they want to work on. Today, we're going to work on finding this mixing, belting, big, juicy place by using our everyday yelling voice. If you've watched my videos before, you've probably heard me say that we have one voice, and we have to figure out how to use that voice to do everything. Our voice that we talk with every day is the very same voice that we bring to singing. All too often, I run into singers that say, "Hey, Jen, nice to meet you." And then they go to sing and they say, "This girl is on fire." There's absolutely no reason that they shouldn't be singing, "This girl is on." It's the same voice. "This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire." Same thing. Now, things do get a little bit more spicy when we're talking about higher notes, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're going to do some shouting. You're going to be careful. You're going to shout the same way you would shout every day. Now, here's the scenario. Your friend is across the street and you need to get their attention, okay? You're not panicked. You're not screaming at the top of your lungs. You just need to get their attention. So think about how it feels in your body when you raise your voice to yell in an everyday scenario. We're going to use the word hey. Fancy, I know. Before we get started, I want you to know that we're going to be shouting hey kind of loudly, so find yourself a space where nobody is going to panic. Some people like practicing in their car because it's like a sound booth and they feel like they can make noise because nobody can hear them. Some people have a dedicated space in their house. If you're in an apartment, it can be tricky because you don't want your neighbors to think you're losing your mind. So find yourself a space where you are comfortable making some noise and shouting hey a lot of times. I'm going to do my best to remember to turn away from the mic when I'm shouting hey so I don't scream in your ear. I'm starting at a lower place in my voice, and we're going to move to a higher place in my voice. Before we get started with the notes, I want you to just give me a hey in your voice wherever it feels natural to you. Hey! Remember, you're calling your friend across the street. Hey! Hey, friend! It doesn't have to sound the same as mine. It probably won't. Now hang on to that feeling when we move into the exercise. Let's begin. We're going to shout hey 3 times on each note. Our first note is this one. Remember, 3 heys. Here we go. Big breath. Hey, hey, hey. This note. Hey, hey, hey. This note. Hey, hey, hey. This note. Hey, hey, hey. This note, which is an A. Hey, hey, hey. Now this note. Hey, hey, hey. This note, which is a B. Hey, hey, hey. This note is a C. This will be our highest note. Take a big breath. Hey, hey, hey. Now remember, we are shouting, which is kind of a full-on thing to do with the voice. Your job is to use only the amount of energy that you would use naturally in everyday life if you were raising your voice to get someone's attention. This should not be hurting. There should not be veins popping out of your forehead. Nothing should be bleeding, and you should not become raspy. Next, we're going to go through those notes again, but this time, instead of shouting hey 3 times, we're going to shout hey once, but we're going to stretch that hey out. So maybe in this scenario, you're not calling your friend across the street. Maybe your friend is accidentally down a canyon or volcano and you need to shout a little longer to make sure it reaches them. It's a little far-fetched. Just go with me. So it will sound like this. Hey! Got it? Big breath. Here we go. Hey! Don't worry about singing. We're just yelling. Here's the next note. Breath. Hey! This note. Hey! This note. Hey! This note. Hey! Hey! Just calling your friend. Next is B flat. Hey! Next is beep. Hey! Last note, C. Take a big breath. Hey! Again, not all of you will make it up to the C, and that's okay. We all have different voices. It doesn't mean you're not doing this correctly. You just might have a lower voice. On the other hand, it's totally healthy to explore as long as you're being thoughtful and careful. Nothing should hurt, okay? So the reality is, guys, if you made it through that last round of stretched out hays, you were singing. As soon as we start stretching or holding a word, whatever note it might be on, that's singing. And that's what I'm always talking about. Talking is yelling, is singing. But I have one more round of this exercise for you. This time we're going to add our body and our mind into the equation a little bit. When you yell, you will naturally be taking a pretty juicy breath. As far as fight or flight goes, our body wants to do everything it can to help us do whatever it is we're trying to do to fight or fly. And taking a big breath is an important part of that when we're going to raise our voice or shout. Next, something that would naturally happen without you really having to think about it is the muscles in your abs and your torso kind of helping you squeeze the air, squeeze the sound out so you can have the most effective yell as possible. You're going to use these muscles to kind of squeeze in a little bit. I'm going to show you what this looks like. I hope you can see and hear me. I'm going to stand up. So when I go to sing, you're going to see a little bit of expansion in this area when I pull air into my lungs and let my diaphragm contract. And then you're going to see me squeezing these muscles in as I go to sing. This girl is on fire. Do you see? He, who, he. So we're going to add that in to the hey exercise. So we're going to do one long hey on each note, but this time you're going to use your mind and your body to squeeze in a little bit. I'm going to remind you again, this doesn't mean we're screaming at the top of our lungs. This just means we're actively using our whole body and our whole voice. Nothing should hurt. This is our note, big breath. Hey! This note, 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 hey! Lastly is the C. Here we go. Hey! Again, the C will be a little bit intense for some people, but there's the option. Now, full circle, let's come back to Girl on Fire and let's apply everything we just practiced. We're now going to shout the chorus of Girl on Fire. The first key will sound like this. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. but we're only going to do the first line. This girl is on fire. And it'll feel like that yell we practiced. Here we go. Join me on this note. Here we go. This girl is on fire. Here's our note. Big breath. This girl is on fire. Now this note. This girl is on fire. Now this note. This girl is on fire. Remember, you're just yelling. Now this note. This girl is on fire. Now here. This girl is on fire. Are you remembering to squeeze here? Big breath. Here's our next one. Here we go, big breath. This girl is on fire. Here's our note. We're already at C. Take a breath. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. Did you make it all the way to C? It's okay if you didn't. I hope you found this helpful. This should have given you a pretty good idea of how it feels to get into the big place in your voice. Hopefully you guys had fun with this. It doesn't matter how high up you got, as long as you felt that yelling feeling mixing with that singing mindset. Now, talented and experienced vocalists have all sorts of tools and tricks to make it sound less like a yelly sing and more singy. But this is the foundation of what singers are doing when they're getting into those big notes. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please smash the like button. Please smash the subscribe button. You can visit my website, www.jenbeaupre.com. I'll make sure there are links somewhere. Click and sign up for my email list. I am working on courses and some sort of masterclass. Let me know how you felt about this video. Please feel free to comment. If there's something you would like me to talk about in a video or a course, please also mention that. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you feel a little closer to finding the big place in your voice. Bye.